shot somebody. I have actually stabbed people. Nobody ever died, but I was in the middle of everything. I was generally on drugs, and generally the higher end drugs and or drinking. In other words, you don't seem to care. You know what I mean? It contributes to you're not inhibited. What would stop you when you're not drinking? You know, maybe your Catholic upbringing, maybe your parents' voice. But when you're not, when you're drinking or you're on drugs, all that stuff goes away. You know what I'm saying? My brother used to beat me up all the time. I had a lot of sibling abuse, you know, so I had to deal with him. He would throw me off rooftops, choke me by the neck with a rope. He even had one time had his friends beat me up, you know. It was just a terrible thing. So I stood by myself.
Deadly shooting rampage in Los Angeles. A man now in custody, suspected of shooting 7 people over a span of 4 days, killing 4 of them and injuring the others. ABC's Gia Benitez has more details on this suspected serial killer. Good morning, Gia.
Good morning to you.
I was getting tired of getting bullied. What happened was I was 9 years old. Those guys jumped me, and they just used an excuse to jump me. And what they did is they broke my jaw. And I remember how I was beaten. I was on the ground. People were laughing at me. You know what I mean? And I remember I had a Little League game that day, and I went to the Little League, and I cried. I couldn't stop crying. I had never really been that way. And I made a promise to myself that I would never let that happen to me again. You know what I'm saying? And I never have. I would stand up to everybody after that. I don't care if they could beat me up. I would never be crying, beaten down on the ground. You know what I'm saying? I joined a gang about 2 years later. When I was 10, my best friend was killed. That also impacted me. And then by 11, I was ready to be in a gang. I was like, you know, at least I felt the gang had power. If anybody was gonna mess with me, I had my homies, you know what I mean? And I was tired of the bullying. I was tired of being put down. And now in the gang, I could be tough now. And that's a sad thing. It's a distortion of manhood.
Los Angeles police calling 34-year-old Alexander Hernandez a ruthless serial killer responsible for killing 4 and seriously injuring 3 more in a shooting spree that spanned several days and multiple crime scenes.
Nothing makes a homicide investigator's heart beat faster than realizing he has a serial killer. That's what this man was.
The string of
But you said that the gang gave you power. What else did it give you? Did it give you anything else?
It gave me what I thought was respect, because now people looked up to me. Having been in the Barrio gang, what it was is like, oh, nobody's gonna mess with you. And it got to a point, it was a weird thing that happened. My brother was 3 years older than me. He used to beat me up when I was young, but he never got in the gang. He became like a regular dude. He was into sports. He used to play music. He played bass. He's a nice guy. And one day he walked to a rival neighborhood and they jumped him because they knew who he was. In fact, we had cousins in that neighborhood that jumped him, our own cousins. And so my brother came home all beaten up. But now I was in the gang. He came to me, you know, for help. Can you imagine my brother, my older brother, coming to me? But now I was the guy. And I remember going to that neighborhood in a small little lowrider car. It wasn't a small car, but it was low, you know, and all the guys ran off. I had a gun with me, you know what I mean? I scared all the guys. They were hiding behind bushes. They were hiding behind couches.